Welcome to the Growth Mindset Podcast with me, Sam Harris, your host. I invite fascinating humans from all walks of life to share their wisdom and unpack their mindsets and formulas for growth. Today I'm going to be talking all about morning routines because there's lots of information lately around like how to hack your morning routine and make the most of it and have like your power day starting off right. And I do believe that a good morning routine is very important to having a good day and really setting you up for success. But I also think that there's a lot of really bad advice out there that I think actually gives you a bad mindset around how to approach it and can actually end up making you feel worse about your day than you need to. And instead, you really want to be empowered. So here, I'm basically going to give you like my best solid tips for setting yourself up around like your mindsets and giving like just your general mindset and approach to the morning routine to be like a really healthy one that makes you like a happy, awesome person. So yeah, that's what we're talking about today. Morning routines and our mindsets around that.
Welcome to an episode about morning routines. Joined by the Seagulls. So you don't need to meditate for an hour, then journal, go for a run, stretch, breathe, have a kale and wheatgrass smoothie, followed by an ice bath, and then write a whole chapter of your next book every morning before 9 a.m. Because that's a lot of things to do. And there's basically a full-time job just running a morning routine, at which point you will reach the rest of your day exhausted and tired and probably stressed because you didn't manage to do everything in your morning routine. And I think morning routines are about setting yourself up for the rest of the day with energy and happiness. And that's about it. Like, you don't need to do everything. So, I mean, different people do different things, and that's great for them. But what works for them and gives them delight is not necessarily what works for you. And your routine may be 10 times more cool or 10 times less. And it doesn't really matter. It's just for you. And so I think we all need to be more kind to ourselves. And for me, I feel great doing the things that get my head straight, that I probably won't do later on because of running a business and stuff will take over, or I'll just find it too hard because I've run out of energy from doing other things. And I basically ended up with 3 ingredients that are the only things that I feel matter in a morning routine. So number 1, do the thing that you find hard to do at any other time. Because if there's stuff that you're going to get to the end of the day and not done and be depressed about, it's good to do that. Or if there's like a habit that you're trying to culture that you just don't have energy for the rest of the day, like you want to run, but you just can't fit it in when the day kicks off. Or for me, that's writing. I really love writing. And if I've done it every day, just like for half an hour, I'll probably have written like a nice short thought piece. Kind of like this thing right now is like something I wrote yesterday morning. And it just helps me make sense of the world. It helps me get better at explaining things, and I really enjoy doing it. But as soon as the rest of the day kicks off, I just don't find the time for the concentration to go and fit it in. And then come the evening, I'm just a bit sort of tired and my brain like wants to do something a bit easier. So for me, writing is a really good one. And then I want to be someone that writes daily. And so that's like my priority in the morning. And if I do wake up earlier and I can do some meditation and go for a run as well, like that's even better. But I don't put so much pressure on myself to do all those things. I actually enjoy meditating in the evening, so I can do it then. I just enjoy running anytime, and I can kind of just fit that in. I don't need to have like a good concentration level to do that later in the day. So again, it doesn't matter so much. It's obviously makes me feel a bit fresh, and some form of movement, like just doing some sit-ups or press-ups, is helpful, but it doesn't really matter. And so basically, number 1, start with something that makes you feel happy to have done, and you're not probably going to do at any other point in the day. Ingredient 2, plan your day before. So when you're going to bed or when you're shutting off at work, just write down the things that you want to do the next day, including your morning routine. And that way, when you wake up in the morning, you just go and work on the thing that is your morning routine. You don't need to kind of wake up, think, wait, what am I doing with my day? And let the day take over you. You don't go onto Instagram, you don't go onto email, you don't sort of get waylaid by notifications or news, and you don't sort of panic about like a calendar change that you weren't expecting or like clashes and things. You just do the thing you need to do. So actually planning for the routine is an essential part. The 3rd ingredient, sleep. So getting up early to smash your day is really pointless if you don't go to bed early, and you'll just end up missing out on sleep and you'll start becoming more irritable. You won't be so healthy. Missing out on sleep is terrible. Like, I can directly look at my stress levels and like my resting heart rate, and it just goes up and up if I am not getting enough sleep. And so I won't enjoy my morning routine so much, and I certainly won't be set up for a day of energy and happiness if I haven't slept well. So there's just a bit of pressure on the morning routines, and some of us aren't actually genetically predisposed to be like 5 a.m. people. It actually is a thing, being a night owl as such. And yeah, it just adds more stress to your day trying to do something that's not natural. And I would certainly do everything you can to help yourself get to bed earlier, like reducing blue light exposure, reading, all of these things, and just making sure that you get like the right amount of sleep, because that's just as important for both your morning routine and then a day of success and happiness. So those are my 3 ingredients. 1, doing something that's kind of harder to do at any other point and will make you happy. 2, plan it the day before. And 3, get a good night's sleep. Now, the observant amongst you will notice that 2 of those 3 essential ingredients are not something that happens in the morning, but that's life. I like to be controversial, and I guess it's not really that controversial. And I think it's just sort of a bit out of the box compared to all these other people that are just telling you to fill your morning routine with endless stuff. And it's just stepping out from it a little bit to be observant of what's actually really required is what I'm trying to do here.
And now a quick break to talk about the benefits of CBD. For those of you who aren't familiar with CBD, it's the part of the cannabis plant that doesn't get you high, which might not be what you're after, but for me, it's great. And for centuries, it's been used as a completely safe and natural way to manage stress, help you sleep better, and improve focus and treat inflammation. Recently, I've become obsessed with canibrands.com. That's CANIBRANDS. Their CBD products are rigorously lab tested, endorsed by pro athletes, and just benefit your overall health and wellness. The majority of people who try Canny Brands products say that they're able to eliminate or cut down many of their other supplements and over-the-counter medications. For me, their Canny Sleep product worked amazing to help me fall asleep and just wake up feeling energized. I also love their Canny Fresh oral spray, which helps me be so much more productive during the day. So just visit cannybrands.com and use the discount code GMP25 for 25% off the cost of your product. That's CANIBRANDS.com. And the discount code is GMP25. The GMP stands for Growth Mindset Podcast. And yeah, get trying it today if you want to see the benefits of CBD.
So some other top tips on how to make your morning routine go well is, firstly, just be adaptable. Your priorities change in life. Maybe you no longer want to write anymore, such as myself, and you want to go do music, and perhaps you want to play guitar every morning for half an hour, or who knows. Priorities change, and you should do the thing that's making you happy and successful in your own way. And yeah, maybe that is 1 hour of meditation and like an hour of yoga. Doesn't matter. Just adapt for what works for you. There's no like wrong thing. I think it's just like dieting as such, as in it's good to try different diets just to learn what you like about different elements, and then go back to being like yourself normally, but pick up on little bits of it of like, okay, actually I really like this food. I can just eat this healthier thing always instead of that thing, just because of like, I know I enjoy it and I'll stick to that. And it's the same with your morning routines. So switch it up a bit. Don't be too religious, but see what works. Then my other top tip is to match what you want to do with what you want to have done. And that's a bit of a interesting cyclical way of looking at things, but ultimately it's great to make a list of things of what you want to have done, like goals, achievements, and that's great. But then you also need to make sure that those are things that you want to do day to day, and like these habits of what you're called. My second general tip on morning routines is match what you want to do with what you want to have done, because ultimately it's great making a list of things of what you want to have done. These are your goals, your achievements in life, but these do need to be a list of things that you actually want to do day to day. Otherwise, you'll never achieve them, and you'll just have desires that you'll never be able to fulfill. And it's just stressful and annoying. And when you can match these two, you'll actually enjoy your routine, and you'll wake up each morning and do something you want to do, and you'll accrue the benefits of the compound effect. So maybe you just hate running and you're never going to like do it. It's always going to be a challenge. You'll sort of do it for a bit and then you'll give up. But perhaps you like doing yoga and you just do it every day with joy. And sure, you're not going to burn as many calories doing yoga, but if you do it every day, you're going to keep on doing it for like years. And that's going to be way healthier than doing a bit of running and then stopping. So just sort of find the things that are good, but really make you joyful, and try and do those. And then also match like your energy for things. So maybe actually when you wake up in the morning, you do have energy to go for a run, but like the rest of the day you don't. Okay, so you do need to go and do it then, otherwise it's not going to happen. So just timing when you want to do things also, and you'll have energy to do it. Cool. And so finally, a few questions to ask yourself that would help you work out how to do your morning routine. And you might want to write these down or stop and pause just to like think about them. But firstly, number one, what do I struggle to do in a day but would get done with a period of concentration in the morning? So what are the things that you just find impossible to do, but actually if you did it in the morning with no interruptions, you'd get it done and you'd love to have it done and would be excited to be someone that gets that done every day. So make a list of those things. Cool. 2, what do I need to change to plan for tomorrow better? So maybe you need to schedule a bit of time in the evening just after work or before you go to bed, maybe on writing your journal or something, just to like actually think about tomorrow ahead of time so you can just wake up and just do. Maybe you want to like put your running shoes ready for you to just like wake up, put them on, go out the door, that kind of thing, just to like make everything run easier the next day and clear your head. Number 3, how can I improve my sleep? So there's lots of ways you can do that, and I would avoid medication. Certainly blue light filter glasses can help you sort of just reduce that amount in the evening. Trying to not use any devices a few hours before you go to bed also helps. And just make sure you have like a good wind down routine. So lately I've started trying to meditate for a bit and then journal and read and play guitar, all things completely offline. And it's really nice. It's a peaceful routine. It makes me just relax and like ease into the evening, and it's good. So one, I would look at those ways to do it. Also, I read Why We Sleep, which is a really, really good book that talks about all of the crazy health benefits of sleeping well and the amazing health scares and how bad it is for you to not sleep well. Like, I've read quite a few books on sleep before, and this book just sort of changed my entire mindset on sleep to just be like, holy shit, this is like probably one of my number one priorities in life. I'm going to be a much more effective human. I'm going to be much healthier. I'm going to live longer just by sleeping more. And just because of that priority, I'm like, yeah, I'm really going to put the effort in to make sure I get to bed on time and these things. And I haven't been taking like sleep medication, but I've been taking sort of things that help a little bit, like just sort of herbal tablets and stuff for like months, but haven't needed to do it all since reading this book over the last week or a few weeks. I've just really prioritized it a lot more, and I just got a lot more headspace and go to bed, and life's great. So yes, improve your sleep and maybe read the book to help you. And then finally, a final question is, what is on my want to have done list, but doesn't actually ever appear on my want to do list? Now, can you make the things that aren't appearing on your want to do list different so that you actually do reach them by perhaps making them easier or something? So perhaps you're like, oh, I want to run 10K every morning, but that's too much and it stresses you out. Perhaps you could just run 5K every morning, or maybe just 1 kilometer every morning, and like that's still better than none. And just think of ways to make something easier or make it more enjoyable, like adding a small reward or doing it with someone else. Like there's quite a few ways you can just make stuff a bit more proactive, well, enjoyable for yourself. And just think out the box. Anything's possible. Or, of course, just remove it from your list of want to have dones, because that's also a really awesome way to reduce your amounts of stress, because desire is a contract with yourself to be unhappy until you achieve it. And if you never want to do the thing that will make you achieve it, it's pointless having that. And you will be less stressed and more happy if you want less. And just making that list of things that you want to achieve and like the things that you actually enjoy doing can be really clear of like, actually, I'm just never going to achieve this thing because I just don't enjoy doing it. So it's a really good tip just for your life to look at that, examine it, and maybe just tick it off. It's like, yeah, I'm not going to be that person. It's fine. And you can be happy. So those were my 4 questions. Work out what you struggle with to do the rest of the day, but would get done in the morning with concentration. Number 1. Number 2, what do I need to change in my evening to help me plan for tomorrow? So just setting aside some time and getting your things ready. Number 3, how can I improve my sleep? Maybe read Why We Sleep by Matthew Walker. And number 4, what is on my want to have done list, but isn't on my want to do list? And is there anything I can change about those tasks that don't appear, or can I just delete them? And that's how you have a great morning routine. And the observant amongst you who are watching this, yes, my t-shirt does seem to match my bed covers miraculously, which is odd because I'm in an Airbnb and this t-shirt was bought a few years ago by my sister. And it's not like I'm wearing white and white for someone that's listening. It is a very floral pattern of like different plants and stuff. And yes, I'm blending in with my surroundings. I thought I would just note for anyone that is watching. And there we go. That was morning routines with Sam Harris on the Growth Mindset podcast. And yes, my morning routine today was get done a video. I want to do one of those once a week, and otherwise I'm going to be writing every morning because that makes me happy. And I hope that you get to do things that make you happy in your mornings. Take it easy, people.
Congratulations on listening to a whole episode of the Growth Mindset podcast. Before you race into another podcast, try pausing. Ask yourself, what have you learned? What could you change? How will you make that change happen? Did you press pause? Knowledge is useless without action. What did you learn? What should you change? And how will you make that change happen? You can tell us what you learned by contacting us through the website, growthmindsetpodcast.com, and feel free to connect with us or our guests, or just peruse the show notes. Our Instagram is @growthmindsetpodcast, or follow me @SamJamSnaps for a daily reminder to stop using Instagram. If you enjoy random acts of kindness and want to support the show, you can support us on Patreon or leave us a review on iTunes, and you'll make me very happy. And with that, keep learning and keep growing.